Hey, welcome back to the Unbiased Room. Here to bring y'all another great episode. Ed, go ahead, kick us off, man.
Is SEC dominance gonna stay, or are they coming? It's another conference up and coming because the SEC has
Right.
won since the college football inception. It's been all SEC except for Clemson for three, right? It was Clemson, Ohio State, Clemson twice,
Clemson
and
twice. Yeah.
after that, it's just been SEC, SEC, SEC.
Yeah. So I got it. So 13 of the last 17 championships belong to the SEC, and that's Bama, Georgia, LSU, Florida, and Auburn. Right. Four titles in a row by three different teams, which is Bama, Georgia, and LSU. Six of the last eight, and like I said, we got Clemson got there too, and then 13 of the last 17. So the only thing I can say is, man, that I think all of this is cyclical. I remember back in the day, man, when Florida State used to dominate. We could talk about back in the day when Michigan, the Miami's, right, when they used to dominate. So I think it's just as of right now, the SEC has a foothold on the championship. And I'm not going to lie to you, once Texas and Oklahoma join, it's going to be even stronger. I don't know if the Big Ten and the ACC going to be able to catch up. I think it's going to be a good little while, man, before the SEC is not dominating.
Yeah, I agree. I don't see no other conference winning a championship anytime soon. I just I don't see it. I don't see
I
it.
mean, I think for the next couple of years they're locked in. I can't argue with the facts. But the ACC, now we go back to 2013-14, right? We're talking about Florida State had a run, and then Clemson.
Mm-hmm.
So besides the one of Ohio State, it has been ACC, SEC, and I think it's aligning itself to be the powerhouse of the SEC and the powerhouse of the ACC resurging, right? Because if we look at it, Florida State had a good year this year. They knocked off LSU early in the season, established themselves throughout the year. UNC had a 9-game run, right? They're a super young team also under Mac Brown, who won a national title. And then Miami with a top 4 recruiting class. So we could see the resurgence. I don't think Clemson's going away anywhere. For the ACC, we need Virginia Tech to be back up. And that's the three-headed monster that they put together was Florida State, Miami, Virginia Tech, along with Clemson to compete. And I think it's lining up. We got new head coaches, good recruiting classes. I think he's going to align himself. I think the ACC is going to make a run, but I think for the next couple of years, it's going to be SEC and something we're going to talk about later on. I think the Big 12 is going to have a couple shots in there before the ACC actually before they actually make their run.
Yeah, I just don't see, man. If you look at like the last, 10 years of recruiting, right? SEC schools recruiting classes, they'll have 7 or 8 teams in the top 25 in recruiting, and that's just hard to compete with, right? With other conferences sprinkled in there, and Bama and Georgia always leading that charge for the SEC. So it's tough. It's tough to compete with.
Yeah, and I know people make fun of the SEC, right, with the open dates when they play like a Citadel or Austin Peay or whoever, right? But you got to look at the quality of opponents that the SEC face every week, right? And like the SEC West, I know they're about to get rid of divisions once Texas and Oklahoma join, but you look at the SEC West, it's a dogfight every week. You got Ole Miss, who's going to still come up with Lane Kiffin. You got LSU now with Brian Kelly. You got Texas A&M with Jimbo. You got Alabama with Nick Saban. You got Auburn with Hugh Freeze. And now, you got Mississippi State, unfortunately, Mike Leach died, but when he was alive. I mean, there's still 6 named coaches that's proven coaches that you got to
Yeah.
come through. And then you just say you get to a championship game and you face, someone that their only opponent was the champ. Their toughest opponent was their championship game. I think that's why the SEC, that formula is proven to win for them.
And one thing I meant to mention is that another reason why I think the ball is going to keep on rolling with the SEC is because of Texas and Oklahoma.
Hey, well, that wraps up this episode of the Unbiased Room. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Take it easy.